The actor I chose to research was Heath Ledger. The technique he used, Heath Ledger was famously committed to the method and used method acting techniques for every role he undertook, one of the most important aspects of which is character research. Heath himself said that he locked himself away in his London hotel room for around a month writing a character diary and constantly experimenting with different voices. For the Joker, Christian said that he loved the intensity and the seriousness Heath brought to set. This was especially true for the interrogation scene, in which Heath chose to actually get beat up and banged around while loving it, despite being told it would look just as good without, during an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. Method acting is a technique of acting in which an actor aspires to complete emotional identification with a part based on the system evolved by Stanislavski and brought into prominence in the US in the 1930s. Method acting was developed in institutions such as the Actors Studio in New York City, and even though Heath Ledger had no actual training in method acting, this is what he's most well known for, and in the film world, he was known for being a very good method actor. For the question, what have they studied? Heath Ledger never had any formal acting classes. He chose to study on his own by in-depth character research, and he left high school to pursue acting, so he didn't graduate. And another example of what he studies, it's director Christopher Nolan said in an interview that Ledger studied ventriloquist dummies for the role as they terrified him, just to put him in that mindset. What he values in his craft, Heath was known to value character research the most, again, and focused on immersing himself in the character. For Joker, he was known for isolating himself, beginning an in-depth character diary, and studying other bodies of work which depicted psychopaths similar to the Joker. Since Heath Ledger has passed, he doesn't have many interviews, so it was hard to find what he values in fellow actors on set. There wasn't much of him talking about co-stars, but I would assume that he valued authenticity and commitment just because of how much he commits to a role and how he just fully immersed himself in that role. After researching Heath Ledger's career and roles, I have so much more respect for him and the roles he played. The way he committed for his roles and the way his role in The Joker is said to have had something to do with his death puts so much more value behind the movie and overall his career. When talking about Heath Ledger's roles, you obviously have to talk about 10 Things I Hate About You, and his co-stars on that said that he brought the best charisma to set and always had the best attitude and just was really ready to focus once they started filming. Aaron Eckhart, who plays Harvey Dent in The Joker, also went on to describe how when a scene was getting set up, Heath was always in character. He'd be talking to himself in the corner, he'd be grunting and making noises while pacing around the room for nearly an hour. The whole time Aaron is watching him, he then stuck his hand up in the air and Heath immediately caught it. Heath was paying attention to Aaron the whole time, so without knowing, Aaron was a part of Heath's creative process. And I think just reading things like this really give you like a new respect for Heath Ledger and how he really put himself in to make good films for others.